Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Justin, editor-in-chief of Rapzilla.com, and I am pleased to have the homie Dee-1 and Murs on the Zoom call with me, and we are talking about He's the Christian, I'm the Rapper, their new album that just dropped. It is mad good, and it's pretty unprecedented because we have Dee-1, the Christian rapper, and we have Murs, the secular rapper, which I know could be so scary for some people watching this if these two entities collaborate and create the space-time continuum that's behind Murs right now. But they managed to do it, and it's pretty amazing. So we're gonna run through some questions and talk about the album.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I've heard Dee-1, I heard the story about how you guys met several times over the years, and then you did the movie Mall Dogs together. Maul, that's Maul. And so what was it that sparked this particular project of you two actually doing this? Like, how did that come about?
I was on my way to a girls' basketball game. Someone that's like a niece to me. She had a game, an AAU tournament here in New Orleans, and Murs called me. I don't know what part of the world he was in, but he called me about hopping on a track for him. So it was basically just doing a feature for him for a song that he had called "No Pictures of Jesus."
Okay.
And I was like, for sure. You know, we've collaborated on songs in the past. I've been on his albums. He's been on my albums. I was like, bet, all good. You know, send it over. When he sent over the beat, I was like, bro, this is better than I thought. Like, this has inspired me. Like, I wish this was my song. And it went from like, all right, well, maybe we do a whole EP, you know? And it was like, word. And by the time I finished driving and parking and we talked, by the time I walked into the girls' basketball game, we had decided to do a whole album together. So it went from hop on this one song for me to maybe we should do an EP to let's do a full album. Just like that. Then we had to do the hard part, which was actually do the work and make it come true.
Murs, do you have a conflicting story, or is that how you recall it too?
That's how I recall it. But I wish David would have answered it with, well, you know, we answered that question on our new podcast series called He's the Christian, I'm the Rapper, where we go in depth about each song. It's on streaming platforms everywhere now. David hasn't been press trained.
Murs, for you, was this a risky project for you as a rapper with the catalog that you been come to be known for?
No. It's funny because people have come to me like, oh, I could finally play one of your albums. And me and Ninth Wonder put out 2 clean albums with no cursing. One is called Sweet Lord, and one is called Murray's Revenge. So it wasn't a risk. And for me, I just knew it was something. I won't say it was a risk, but I knew something that my fans wouldn't tune into.
Right.
Which is unfortunate, but that's the power. What I used to tell Christian rappers is like, oh, when you say Christian rapper, people expect a certain thing. And I hate that. You know what I mean? And like, that should be a testament to the power of the name of your Lord and Savior. Like when you say Muslim rapper, people don't expect much in the rap world.
Right.
Coming from you. When we say Christian rappers, people expect a certain standard of living or a certain style of rap. They also expect you to be corny. I was like, but you can blow past that stereotype, you know? But so I knew having Christian in the title was going to turn people off. But it's a good thing I don't rap for money. So I mean, I do, but I don't.
Right. Now, D, go ahead.
You got faith that my fans would come through. And
so D, same question for you. Like, was this risky for you doing an album with Murs with having a Christian fan base?
No, because my whole career, bro, like I've been collaborating with artists who would be deemed as secular artists. You know, I think that I'm a Christian rap late bloomer. I didn't come into the game with the Christian rap community knowing who I was, and I wasn't necessarily labeled as a Christian rapper. I think that the Christian rap community came to know about me and to claim me as one of their own. And I'm like, bet anyone who wants to claim me as a Christian rapper or label me a Christian rapper, that's perfectly fine. Because I know there's a bunch of people out here who to this day don't see me as such. And I do feel like it's not my job. Like some other rappers have tried really hard to make sure that they control the narrative of what people view them as. I'm just like, man, I'm just God's son, and I'm here to be, to be of service to the world with the gifts God gave me. If some people view that as a Christian rapper, cool. If other people view it as just a clean rapper or a conscious rapper, all good. So for me and Murs to collab, there was nothing risky about this at all. I just wanted to make sure he wouldn't curse, because anyone I've collaborated with, I'll go down the list: Big Crit, Lupe Fiasco,
Yeah.
Stally, Juvenile, Manny Fresh, all these people, I've always just made sure that, hey, when y'all hop on my track, just don't curse, and they've all been cool with that. Kevin Gates, it's something to where, yeah, like none of these people have cursed on my songs. So with Murs, it's like if we do something together, what do you need from me to make sure that you're comfortable with it, Murs? And what do I need from you? We already homies, so that part wasn't gonna be
Right.
hard. And it was just like, long as we can agree not to curse. He didn't want to, like, he wasn't tripping on that part at all. He was like, bro, I want to do another clean rap album. Cause like he said, that educated me. I didn't realize he already had 2 of them in his catalog, but this one definitely stands out because nowadays people are looking to classify the album before they even listen to it. So now that they see the word Christian in the title, they
Yeah.
automatically putting the album in a category. And what I'm loving is, so far, people who are checking the album out, which is a lot of people, I can tell the ones who knew it was gonna be great versus the ones who were like, yo, we're not really expecting much, because something about just, he's the Christian, I'm the rapper. It feels very tongue-in-cheek. It feels very like playful. But they listen to the album and it's powerful, bro. And I'm loving that. And I think one thing that he and I agree on is that it's gonna withstand the test of time. So that is
For
why we
sure.
have a conversation series, a podcast series, another format for how to present these songs to people, because there's so much meaning behind every one of these tracks on the album that this won't be an album that's forgotten in 2 weeks or 2 months. Like, they're
Right.
gonna still be talking about this mug the way they talking about he's the DJ, I'm the rapper. 30 years later, I truly believe that there's people who are gonna be like, I got closer to God because of that album about Dee-1 and Murs.
Let me ask you, Murs, is it harder? Do you think it takes more skill to be able to rap at a high level without having profanity or anything vulgar in your verses?
It's a different skill. It doesn't take more skill, it just takes, I'm all about being a well-rounded rapper. I would recommend every rapper do it, because you get too leaned into something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't recommend Christian rappers curse, because that's not how you think, if that's not how you feel. But it's good to turn off a part of your brain. It's like dribbling with your left hand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You should dribble with your left hand. And I grew up in the 80s, and what I realized is that, and Dee-1 caught some flack for this, but like, I know the clean version of Boys of the Hood by Eazy-E because that's all I could listen to at 8 years old.
Right.
When I hear the dirty version, it doesn't even make sense. But that was back when they used to go back and re-record it. Like, I know the clean version of Straight Outta Compton because they used to re-record it. And that's a skill set rappers don't have today.
Right.
As you get older, it's fun to look back. Like Mind Playing Tricks on Me by the Ghetto Boys, I still only sing the clean version because it's just a better song to me. I don't need all the curse words. There's some songs that are better without them. And I think that inspired me. So I love doing, like Dee said, like, it wasn't a hard call for when he said no cursing on it. I vehemently disagree with Christians who don't curse. E40 is one of the most Christ-fearing, good people I know. And he curses all the time. But he's a great father and a great husband. You know, not to be in his personal business, but you will never hear any stories about E40 and infidelity or anything.
Right.
And curses. I just don't know the scripture where it says don't say that 4-letter words. It doesn't exist. So, but when I respect it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My elders and the Christian homies, I try not to do that around them. You know what I mean? Just because it's a cultural thing. I think that Christians have created a culture that's not necessarily the culture of the Bible, but it's an American Christian, a Western Christian culture. And because these words didn't exist when the Bible existed, period. You know, some words didn't exist, so I don't understand how they're taboo or shouldn't be said. And I like what the homie Propaganda said. When we did a tour together, he would tell his crowd, like, Curse words are words used to harm people. Murs
Right.
doesn't do negative music. He uses these words, but they're more colorful than they are curses. It's worse to say I hate you than to say
Yeah.
I don't F with you. That's better. You know what I mean? And so but yeah, it's no problem. And I do think it's something all MCs who curse should do. Me and Knife Wonder challenged ourselves. But for the Christian homies and for my elders, and I did that album for my grandmother's a Jehovah's Witness. She'd never listened to my music.
Wow.
So I was like, Grandma, like before you go and before you get too old to enjoy it, here's an album for you.
What's the ultimate goal of this album? Like what were you guys looking to accomplish with something like this?
My history with Christian rap goes back to before any of you, I hate that I can't say the words I really want to say. Any of you miscreants or even listening to Christian rap. Michael Peace, first album.
Peace.
Michael Peace's first album from the Crenshaw Community Center on Crenshaw. First rap tape my mom ever bought me. From there, Idle King, 12th Tribe, Soldiers for Christ, the list goes on. So I was deep into the Christian rap community because I was just deep into rap. And it really hurt me that when dope MCs, that's what hurt me because Idle King is still almost better than Kid and Play to me in that era. Like as far as lyrical ability, back and forth rhymes, like Run DMC era classic. But because no one carried the legacy of Christian hip hop the way Soldiers for Christ did and Gospel Gangsters, like it was building into a scene. And at some point, somebody said, oh, I don't want to be a Christian rapper. And I never understood that because I slapped Idle King at the same time I had the Black Sheep album. And it was talking about arts and all kind of craziness. And but I listened to both because both were dope. And that was just it. I want to talk mess now. Since none of you cowards out there want to contribute to the legacy of Christian hip hop, I wanted to make a dope Christian hip hop album. And I don't like using the term Christian, but a dope hip hop album in the name of Jesus. That was important to me because I value the elders that came before me that made dope hip hop inspired by Jesus Christ. I don't understand why it's not then, period. Being a fan of Chris CHH, and wanting to continue, that's my anger speed. But in general, like whatever you do it. But for my career, I wanted to have one of these albums. Me and Dee were trying to get over the hump. Which one do you want to talk about? Getting over the hump? Or the ultimate purpose of this album is to glorify God and bring people some type of peace and bring music inspired by peace, by the Prince of Peace, however you want to name it. You know what I mean? Good spiritual music to the forefront, done by, like you say, people who can really rap and be unashamed to be good, righteous human beings, or righteous human beings in training because we're all flawed.
By getting over the hump is just, well, first of all, I have to speak to this. Part of my motivation to doing this album was I wanted to do a collab album for the first time in my career. I have several albums out, I think probably 7 solo albums at this point, a ton of mixtapes, but I don't have any collab albums. And if I'm gonna do a collab album with somebody, we gotta really be friends, in my opinion. I've done features with people before, and it's only because we had fan bases that we wanted to merge or to share, but there wasn't a real relationship there. And I'm at a point in life where I'm blessed with enough success to not want to chase those type of collaborations anymore. I want it to be a real relationship that's going to continue even beyond the shelf life of our album. So Murs was the perfect person to do that with. Me and this dude have toured Europe and the UK together, filmed a movie together, gotten in countless arguments and disagreements. Like
America.
yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, like just a lot of stuff, yo. So it made sense.
We haven't done
What?
Because you're too holy. Is we haven't been on a double date, man. You need to go on and settle down, bro.
I know, bro. Remember we was gonna maybe try that one time, but I had that little situation occur that was super unexpected, and I don't know, man. But just listen to the album, listen to Hallelujah, and y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, y'all. That's part of my motivation, but the other part of the motivation was in both of our careers, we can acknowledge the progress we've made and constantly coming up. But you can feel when you're close to like that next, whatever that next level is in God's journey for you. You can feel when you're close to that. And for both of us, we would be talking, and just as friends, I'd ask his advice on something career-wise. He'd ask my input on something or my advice. And whatever that hump was for that next level for both of us, we were both kind of like, yo, what does that look like? Like how do you get over that hump? Because I feel like I'm right there and I'm looking forward to it. And it doesn't feel forced, but like I'm just trying to figure out how to get over it. And we both said, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And I think the answer to that question is too soon to tell right now. Like the album came out, and trust and believe, every time we put a single out, we'll be calling each other like, yo, what you think? You think they feeling it? Is this gonna get us over the hump? Is this gonna get us over the hump? And we'll be asking that stuff in real time. But I don't think that that can be measured, by something as quick as, hey, your album has been out for 6 days now. So did this get you over the hump? What's really gonna matter is what's the response? Because one thing, I was on Instagram Live earlier today, and one thing about everybody, I'm seeing a lot of new faces jump in there saying how much they love the album. And I asked everyone, I said, in all honesty, when you love this album, like you're telling me, are you just listening to it over and over on your own? Or do you love it to the point where you're sharing it with other people who you know aren't currently listening to it? And maybe they were just telling me this because they were on my live, but everybody was saying, yo, I'm loving it and I'm also sharing it. I'm putting it on my whole timeline. I'm personally texting it to my friends. To me, that is what contributes to getting over that hump. And when we talk about that hump, let's keep in mind there's 2 humps there. So the first hump that we're talking about is something professionally in terms of, audience and fan base and all that type of stuff. But the second hump that we're talking about, at least I feel, it's like a personal hump or like a spiritual hump, And I know that where I stand right now, as I sit in this studio doing this interview, it's ironic that it's 6 days after our album came out, because I am spiritually in a place where I feel that movement as far as getting over that next hump to be the man of God that I was called to be. This has nothing to do with Dee-1. This is David Augustine Jr. speaking. And I can't speak for Murs, but what I can say is that the amount of time, consistent time we've had to spend communicating and being in contact over the course of this album, which has been over a year now, it's been something cool because as an artist, you know how many emotional ups and downs come along with this industry. We've had a pandemic. We got all this racist crap going on in the world. With that being said, for us to be in contact with one another, I think that we have a nurturing, calming effect on one another too, because with everything that's going on in the world as humans and as men, the fact that we've had to be in consistent contact with one another. Y'all know, if you follow Murs has had several spaz out moments in his career or just life-wise. I know things he's been through, and I count it as a blessing and maybe getting over a hump as well, that I think about my friend who I'm looking at and I'm just like, yo, seem like he been in a good space. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all got our things that we're going through, but not anything that's like a total derailment of the purpose that God has, planned for us. So getting over the hump was a word that we used a lot. And I think that there's multiple humps that I identified in this process. And I'm gracious because I think it's happening.
How have Murs' fans responded to you? Like how do you think that's been going?
Man, I don't think Murs fans really give me a chance, bro, because some of them, they instantly say, oh wait, he's black. And he's like black. Like, I mean, he light skinned, but he's black. Like, he's urban, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's urban black. Cause there's different, there's different segments of, okay, a fan will look at this person like their skin color is black, but just their sensibilities and just their perspective on life, I identify with them, even if I'm white or if I'm Latino or whatever. I think they look at it like, oh, D is black, and D is Christian, like he's really Christian. And because of that, Murs told me, he was like, bro, that's gonna be 2 notches against you before they even listen to the music. And I hate that is what it feels like is happening, bro. I hate that. I can literally see that my fan base is kind of carrying the weight when it comes to the people that are consuming this album. And I hate that, because I told Murs, I said, bro, you're wrong. Like, you're absolutely wrong. Your fan base isn't gonna tune us out. And you know why I say that? Because my exposure to Murs fan base has always been in person. We've done 2 tours together. And each time his fans that come to the tour, even if they didn't know me or whatever before, I have a way when I'm in front of people of winning people over. And that's a different energy, because you have no choice but to listen to me and to watch me perform and feel my sincerity and my passion for my craft. And it always connects with his fans. With this, they have a choice. They can look at the CD cover, they can look at me, they can judge if they want, and they can judge it enough to say, nah, like, we good, we're not gonna tune in. So his fans that have listened, I think they have loved it and enjoyed it. But a lot of his fans haven't listened, and I can say that with a lot of confidence, with data. I know a lot of his fans haven't listened.
There are my core fans that get it. But yeah, I told him from jump, like, it's just not, the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? I know how my fans react. I wrote about it on songs like This Is For and This Is For. I recently did a feature for Mr. Liff on a song he has called 8 minutes and 46 seconds, where I address it. Systemic racism raised us, you know what I mean? And whether you believe it or not, in human nature. So there's things I deal with in my genre of rap where it's unfair. But luckily for me, I'm Black in America, so I know how to overcome those things. But like I said, luckily for me, I don't rap for the money. If it was about the money, I would have not rapped with Dee-1, because I knew it wasn't going to be embraced by the majority of my fan base. There are a few fans that are into it, and I love and respect them all. But I know them. You know what I mean? I'm in a relationship with them going on 24 years now, so I know my partners. I know.
It's interesting, because it's not even like it's a Christian album. Like, it's just a dope rap album. So you would think that they'd at least give a song or two a shot, and then make a decision before
It'd be
going.
worse if this was the era of where you had to buy it to try it.
Right.
But we put enough out there on social media, and I don't think the music resonates with them. You know what I mean? I always say this: the majority of my fans are people who enjoy white rappers. There's nothing wrong with that, and people get defensive. It just is what it is. And white rap is not like black rap. It's not like So if you're into white rap, this album probably isn't for you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my friends are into white rap, and so be it. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at them, but I think Dee-1 thought that he had a chance. You never had a shot, bro. Out the womb.
Never had a shot, bro. It's too urban. But it's cool though, because over time, I've learned that when you're doing God's work, you're always gonna feel like the underdog, and it's never supposed to feel easy. So ultimately, we did this album as an extension of doing what God has called us all to do, which is to spread the good news and to spread the gospel. And that being said, it shouldn't be easy to people who may not be checking for that when they go to pop in a new rap album. So it's all good. That's why making the music great, that's a prerequisite. Like, that has to exist. Once we make the music great, now over time, I believe that people are gonna continue to tune into the album, even if it's late. You know why? Because they're gonna continue to hear the name Dee-1. They're gonna continue to hear the name Murs. They're gonna continue to see that, oh, these dudes then shot another movie together. These dudes did more stuff together outside of the album. And once they see that it's a real relationship there, then they'll be like, let me go and check it. That's how a lot of people work, yo. Like, they probably feel like, oh, this was just for the sake of Murs checking a box off and wanting to do an album in the Christian space. But once they see that, no, more than that, this was a true expression of something that's already in this man's heart, and someone who he has a relationship with already and is friends with, like they partners. So they make great music together because you can hear the chemistry. Once that clicks to people, I think his diehards will eventually go and listen to it. And if it takes all that to happen for them to grow closer to God, then I'm cool with it. I ain't never rushed anybody's walk when it comes to that, because everybody's gonna do it at their own pace anyway. So this isn't just for entertainment purposes. This is meant to bring people closer to Christ, honestly. And not everybody is in a space where they want to listen to music that they think might convict them, or might force them to confront some realities that they didn't want to address. Not everybody wants to listen to that type of music.
Yeah, that's real, man. Did you guys think that you were doing something somewhat historic in making this album? I'm willing to be wrong, but I don't think that there has been another, kind of Christian rap, secular rap crossover like this for a full-length project.
Funny thing is, like, I'm a hip hop historian, and I never once thought that. Like you said, I wanted to check off a box, but more importantly, I wanted to contribute to a legacy of a genre of the culture that I feel strongly about, that I feel has been left to die. But I never thought, has this been done before? So I don't know. But if it's no, that's another feather I'll put in my cap. If it is the first one, I'll take that.
I think it is. I mean, I don't know if Lecrae Zaytoven counts, because that's a producer and a rapper.
That's definitely something, though.
It is. But as far as two rappers and both of you very established, it's not like two no names got together and we're just like, hey, let's do something because we're friends. Like, you guys legitimately have your own careers. Stopped your careers to kind of be like, hey, let's do something together.
The crazy thing is, bro, when you're friends with somebody, I don't even think you think that deep into it. I think you just look at it as an extension of the friendship. It's the next chapter of the friendship. I first met this dude, for those who are watching this, I first met this dude. I was a fan. I had a job at the time. I was a teacher, a middle school teacher. I'm at South by Southwest, and I see Murs. And my boy was like, man, you should go speak to him. My boy kept telling me, like, go speak to him, go take a picture with him. So I didn't know what to expect from him, but I walked up to him, asked for a picture. He kindly obliged. We took a picture together, and that was just it. That was enough for me. I wasn't trying to collab or anything, because I had nothing to bring to the table at that time. I had absolutely nothing to bring to the table unless I just would have paid him for a feature. So, and I didn't have money to pay him for no feature. So to see the relationship go from that to everything we've done throughout the years we've known one another, this just felt like an extension of that. You got a movie together, you got 2 tours done together, you got just a ton of real conversations. I posted something on my Instagram a few months back. It was a screenshot of a phone call between he and I. The phone call lasted 3 hours. And I took a screenshot and posted that just to show people, like, this is part of the reason why I was down to do an album. Like you said, we both kind of put our careers on hold. I don't think we put them on hold. I think that this was like the next chapter of each of our careers. It includes this. So I didn't feel like I was putting anything on hold, because this is a dude that I could legit talk on the phone for 3 hours with. This is a dude who it never feels like we're competing against one another when we're on the track. There's other people that's out here, and you can tell with them, it feels like it's just a competition. There's people in CHH, unfortunately, to where I'm just like, dang, bro, I didn't know that this is the kind of vibes you give off. Like, you out here, the relationships that you building ain't real. Like, you just trying to use people, and it's just this super competitive aura that you got about yourself, when ultimately we're supposed to be doing God's work as brethren. You hear me? I ain't never feel that with this dude, yo. He even broke one of my golden rules when you collabing, which is, I was always taught that you're not supposed to go and redo your verse after 2 people lay their verses down. And he did that. But I was like, you know what? I don't even put that in the same category as people in New Orleans put it in, because it's like, no, we're not competing. This is just him feeling like, yo, I'm about to just do a doper verse. And I did that on the song. And he didn't look at me. No, he did look at me crazy. He didn't want me to change my verse on this one song. He definitely didn't want me to. But I don't think it was
Double standard.
it wasn't for competitive reasons. He just liked my first verse better. But just this whole experience, that's what it's supposed to be about at this point, bro. There's no clout chasing at this point in life. There's no just trying to pose in a picture and it seem like you're cool with somebody and you know that y'all really aren't cool, but you're hoping to get some followers. Nah, bro, it's about real relationships, because that's going to produce real fruit in the end. And that's what we had for many years now. And the next chapter to that has been a full-length album together.
Do you feel like once everything opens up again and the world is somewhat back to normal, is this a record that you guys would tour?
Man, I think Dee-1 had hopes of that, and he asked me about it, and I told him how my fans would forsake us, and so I don't think it'd be smart financially or for me to try to do a tour to force this down my fans' throats anymore. It's unfortunate that because I have my next album's about to drop, and it's raw, and there's lots of 4-letter words and provocative songs, that may keep us out of performing this album in the church space.
Right.
But people have street clothes that they don't wear to church. People have whatever that they don't wear to church. So I hope that doesn't stop us from being booked to do things in the Christian thing. You know what I mean? I have 2 albums of no cursing. You know what I mean? I know how to perform my songs without cursing. Dee-1 has plenty of albums, and we got 10 songs on this album that we could perform anywhere. And I hope, it's always funny because I never had a record that I could be invited to churches to play. And I have so many friends that are like, I don't want to do a church tour. I don't want to do a church tour. I don't want to do a church tour. I would love to do a church tour for this record. You know, but us going on the road together, it could happen. You know, I think it'd be better if me and Dee-1 just went on the road together. We've done that already without having an album together. My fans would probably prefer it that if we didn't do any songs from this album.
Thanks.
And that could be done. It's been done. But even on that level, my fan base and Dee's fan base don't jive, even if we never did a regular together. Even if Dee-1 wasn't a Christian rapper, if Dee-1 was just an urban act from New Orleans, my fans would be like, you know, I had Ab Soul open up for me, and all my fans were like, and then 3 years later, when Kendrick popped and TDE popped, they're like, oh, I remember. I was like, yeah, bro, I bring dope people with me. You guys just, you know what I mean? They want me to bring another Rhymesayers artist or another strange music artist, which is fine, you know. And that's my thing, is like, I don't try to force things on people when they're paying for a ticket. I want to give you exactly what you want. And unfortunately, I don't think that He's the Christian, I'm the Rapper tour is what my fan base, who supported me for years, and I criticize them because I love them and I'm just and honest with them. But I wouldn't do that to them, you know, especially fresh out of quarantine. I know what they want to see, and I want to give them that, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, now I always told Dee-1, now if He's a Christian, I'm the Rapper takes off, let's go.
Right.
What's more important, pleasing your fans or pleasing God?
Oh man, I please God every day.
So then we need to tour this album then.
God has not spoke to me and told me that we need to, if God was speaking, you would put it at the top of the charts. We rapped about that on the album, bro.
Keep praying.
I pray every morning, every night, man.
Listen for His voice. God would want you to tour this album before you tour some other album where you're saying a bunch of that stuff. You hear me? That stuff. Yeah. So listen to what God says.
I love how people, this is a thing too, man. I would love to, man. If it's sold, touring is a business. God don't want you messing up your business. I know that.
Word. D, you just got to tour the album and you get a Murs hologram.
Yeah, word up.
You just perform next to him, like you kick it to the hologram.
Murs hologram.
The hologram.
Or Murs, you do your verses from a Zoom chat.
Huh?
You do your verses from a Zoom call.
From a Zoom call. Hologram. Let's do that. We could probably cash in on that, bro.
Yeah.
No curse words, no nudes. No thoughts allowed on Holygram. This is pure just scripture and pictures of people's kids and grandmas. That's it.
I want 10%.
You want 10% Holygram?
That's the tithe. It was my idea. I get the 10%. You guys can have the rest.
Hey man.